Crazy names. Names for children. It's always a big question for parents. Should you give them an ordinary name, or do you want something a bit different? We always hear about big names in the world of cinema, music, or sport, or for something that isn't ordinary, and so they give their kids names like Apple, or Brooklyn, or Moon Unit. Other people like to use brand names for their children, so there are now quite a few people called Armani or Diesel running around the school playgrounds. So, can you call your child anything you want? Well, it depends where you live. In New Zealand, for example, you can't call your child Tuluna does the hula from Hawaii, and you can't call your twins fish and chips. And yes, parents in New Zealand really have tried to give their kids these names. It's hard to believe, but you can call a child number 16 bus shelter. Generally, certain names aren't allowed because, as a New Zealand judge said in one case, a name mustn't make a fool of the child. In Sweden, if you want the name Google for a kid, then go ahead, no problem. But you better not try to call your children IKEA or Q, because the government won't let you. Things are even more difficult in Denmark. There's an official list of about 7,000 approved names, and parents need special permission to use a name that isn't on it. Pluto and Monkey didn't get on it. Of course, when kids grow up, they can decide to change the name, and then it's a different game altogether. If a woman footballer wants to call herself Michael Jackson, which is what the Brazilian player Mariles dos Santos decided to do, there's this nothing to stop her. She made a name for herself. It's one of the best women footballers in the world. And of course, singers do it all the time. Sean Corey Carter and Stephanie Joner, for example, might not be household names today if they hadn't decided to use the stage names Jay-Z and Lady Gaga. Some people, however, change the name from something unusual to something ordinary in order to blend in. David Carradine named his son 3 because he wanted him to feel free to do anything, even to change his name, which he did to Tom.